Hello everybody, it's Serafina, and I'm here with your daily tarot insight. So before we begin, I would like to call upon the spirit of the universe that loves us unconditionally. I would like to call upon the spirits of this land, of this island, and of this ocean, and I thank them for holding this space and for their ancient wisdom. And I would like to call upon my guides, my ancestors, my team of light, and my higher self. And I thank them for their presence and guidance with this reading on the new moon in Virgo. Beloved Spirit of the Universe, what guidance is there for the collective on this new moon in Virgo? What guidance is there for the collective on this new moon in Virgo? We have the Eight of Cups. Some of us may be reevaluating something, maybe thinking of walking away from something. What further guidance is there for the collective? We have the Five of Swords. There may be a lot of mental activity, a little bit of anxiety, weighing of options. What further guidance is there for the collective today? We have the card of Strength. Further guidance is there for the collective today? We have the Chariot. And what is this all about? What is this all about? Whoa. We have the Nine of Cups. And I see one card popping out here, so I'm going to grab it. And it's the Ace of Wands, right? Interesting, because we got the Ace of Wands in the last reading as well. Okay, what further guidance is there for the collective today? We have the Explorer. And with this, I'm kind of like getting, oh, look at that. There's a heart beneath the compass. And so it's kind of like being able to assess what your own internal compass is, which is what your heart desires, longs for, what's important to you. Which Ascended Master is with the collective today? Which Ascended Master has a message for the collective today? Oh. We have Radha, Soul Flame. Rediscover a lost part of yourself. Experience relationship harmony and healing. So those of you who don't know, Radha is like the female aspect of divinity when it comes to Bhakti Yoga, or to the Krishna consciousness. So Radha is kind of like, you could say, the divine partner of Krishna. And so Krishna is seen as like the supreme Godhead, or the incarnation of God. And Radha is the beloved, basically. So she represents devotion, which is actually quite perfect considering that this is the new moon in Virgo, and the new moon in Virgo is all about devotion. And kind of like tapping into this really strong female energy that's very nourishing. What further guidance is there for the collective today? We have Savoring the Positive. I allow myself the spaciousness of savoring the delicious gifts in my life. So we can see somebody with like a glowing orb, some beautiful necklace, and birds around her. I'm going to grab from the Wild Unknown Alchemy. What further guidance is there for the collective today? We have antimony or antimony. I'm not sure quite how to pronounce it. Okay, and I'm gonna pick one last one from the Archangel deck. What further guidance is there for the collective today? We have Archangel Faith. With faith, you are invincible. Believe in yourself. Okay, so we started off with the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is a card of us re-evaluating something. Sometimes I call it the card that's like the golden cage, because there may be something that seems perfect on the outside or something that's great on the outside, but inside we have a sense that it needs a re-evaluation, or that it's not exactly what's going to fulfill us or lead us to happiness, which is the Nine of Cups. So it is also indicative of ecliptic changes within us. So I feel that we need to be able to like go into our emotional state and reassess what needs to be cleared, what needs to be changed right now, which is also actually very much regarding the Virgo new moon, because Virgo is a lot about purification, right? And so it's like being able to go in and take inventory and, you know, kind of like clean out before we continue. We have the Five of Swords following this card. And so the Five of Swords can sometimes represent conflict with people around us. And it's kind of like being able to choose your battles, but it can also represent conflict within ourselves, like kind of like an inner conflict of not being able to decide something. And I think the same applies inside, like being able to choose your battles. Like, what are we going to allow to cause us anxiety, or where is it that our thoughts keep on going back to these same thoughts? Are we gonna allow ourselves to get tangled into it? And I feel that the message today is that there's a lot more strength in you than what you recognize. The interesting thing about strength, whether you're going to the gym or not, is that it takes repetition to build it, right? So it's like, even if you made a very good decision for yourself yesterday, you need to keep on making that decision every single day, and then the muscle will become stronger. So strength and courage and determination is not just a one-time thing. It's something that you need to keep on actively choosing. So I feel that whatever it is that we're contemplating, and it's kind of like going around in our head, kind of like swords that need, five is a number of change, right, in numerology. So something that needs to change, and it's telling us we have the strength to be able to do it. Not only that, it's going to be a continuous strength, because we are going to be victorious. The card of the Chariot is representative of that time when we're kind of like choosing to leave our comfort zones, right? On the Fool's journey, it's when the Fool chooses to leave home and just venture out into the process of like individuation, right? And so also we have two Sphinx here, and sometimes the two Sphinx can represent two options or two alternatives. So it's like being able to know that whatever it is that we choose, or whatever path we choose, it's going to be victorious. Because we have the Nine of Cups, right? The Nine of Cups is the card of fulfillment. We can see the Ankh, which is the key of life, and we can also see the beetle here, the scarab beetle. And so both of these are symbolic of new life, of regeneration, of transmutation. And funnily enough, at the end we have the Ace of Wands. So as I mentioned last time, the Ace of Wands is kind of like a card of new beginnings, but it's also just like this spark of life that's kind of like leading us somewhere. It's the beginning of something, right? And so if we're starting off with the Eight of Cups and finishing with the Ace of Wands, it definitely tells me that there's kind of like a process that we're going through right now. We're realizing that something is not right, right? There's a thought process, there's a person, that something needs to be changed, right? And we have this strength in order to do it. We're gonna be victorious. We just need to get out of our comfort zones, because ultimately a wish is gonna be granted. Happiness is there for us, and it's just gonna lead to a new beginning, a new passion, right? And I can't help but notice that the falcon is here, right? So I feel like reading from the card of the Explorer. It says, the Explorer calls you out of your routine and into a rhythm with your deepest self and all that is around you. When people think explore, sometimes they conjure up images of grand traveling expeditions. And while travel can be illuminating and profound, do not fool yourself into thinking that the experiences you need are out of your reach. Explore from exactly where you are. Explore on your own and doing new things and projects. Explore your current environment, even if it's just taking a different route on your way to work. The Explorer calls to shake up the typical and the ordinary. So it speaks of like this need for freedom, this need for to reinvent yourself. When I intuitively picked up this card, it's kind of like us being able to see what our heart genuinely wants and to kind of like place ourselves on our own compass, right? And by doing that, it's by asking ourselves, what are we really devoted to? What is it that we want to cleanse out of our life and experience relationship harmony and healing? And so it could be a literal relationship, like a friendship or a romantic relationship, but ultimately we are in relationship with everything that's around us, right? Relationship with food, relationship with our house, relationship with our pets, right? So it's kind of like saying, are we in right relationship with everything? Because we can bring more harmonious action into it, right? It says rediscover a lost part of yourself. So it's like being able to tap into that part of yourself that is devoted to your everyday needs, right? The Archangel Faith is here to tell us that you are invincible, believe in yourself, which I feel really goes with the Strength card. And I want to kind of like finish off with this card of antimony, or antimony, I think it's pronounced. Okay, so antimony. Wildness, fierceness, hunger. In medieval times, antimony became known as the grey wolf of alchemy. This was due to the metalloid's unpredictable qualities and its ability to eat away at materials in the laboratory. Gold is one of the few materials to withstand contact with it. For these reasons, this card must be read with delicacy. On one hand, it represents the wild and free spirit that longs to express itself in the world. On the other hand, it represents a fierceness that can turn destructive or corrosive at the drop of the hat. The message here is clear. Channel the grey wolf's energy toward creativity. Challenge it to come out from the shadows and express itself. Embark on the creative project or adventure that's calling to you rather than focusing on why you can't. Once you begin, don't quit. The grey wolf responds to respect, not repression. So it says, go deeper, read Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola, which is interesting because I'm listening to one of her audiobooks right now. So if you feel called to look up Clarissa Pinkola Estes, she is a woman with lots of wisdom and knowledge on Jungian psychology, and she does it through storytelling. So what I'm interpreting from this card is that it's very similar to the card of the Explorer, and it's kind of like saying that many of us are feeling this need to explore, to get out there, to kind of like shake up our routine. And I feel that that is what is really called for with this new moon in Virgo, to kind of like, you know, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, but it's the female aspect of Mercury, and it's also related to the earth, and that's why it's very much related to nutrition, to practicality. So I feel that being able to kind of like reassess where it is that we place our focus on every single day, and being able to acknowledge this other side of us that is in need for exploration, in need to kind of like find our own inner compass, is what is being called for. Because I do want to remind us all that next month, September, we're going to have 5 planets in retrograde. We're going to have Uranus, Neptune, Saturn, Mars, and Mercury. So that is 5 planets that are going to be in retrograde. And so, you know, if you've been watching these videos this last week, it's been a lot about reassessing, reevaluating, taking inventory. And so I feel that this is going to be a perfect opportunity for us to do that. Not only that, Mars is going to be retrograde for quite a while, and it's going to be in the sign of Gemini until March. So I feel that there's a lot of importance in us in being able to reassess and walk away from really what's just not fitting into our lives anymore. And with that, being able to be in right relationship with everything that we have around us. Okay, everybody, I hope that this was useful to you. If it was, I'm gonna kindly ask you to like or comment on this video what resonated, what didn't resonate. And maybe you can share this video if you think that there's somebody in your community who could use this message. Okay, everybody, have a nice new moon. Bye.